Citizens in the United States are facing a battle greater than any battle that has been fought by our country in the last 250 years. Since January 20th, 2021, every single right outlined in the Bill of Rights contained in the Constitution of the United States has been attacked and violated by not a foreign enemy, but the administration of a man who swore on that date to uphold the Constitution. As a result, our country is reeling under a socialist regime that has violated our ability to care for our families, has destroyed a burgeoning economy, and crippled the supply chain that we've been able to rely upon in the past, has opened our country and invited an uncontrolled flood of illegal aliens bringing disease, violence, and mob activity to our borders, and then airlifted these illegal predators at taxpayer expense to every furthest reach of the country imaginable, under the guise of claims that pregnant women have the right to choose what they want to do with their bodies. They have promoted the ability to murder unborn and newly born children, allowing irresponsible parents to avoid the covenants that they made with God at the time of creation. Yet they tell responsible, hard-working citizens that they have no right to determine whether a poorly tested, questionable vaccine should be injected into their bodies, even if the person receiving the injection has natural immunity from having had the disease that this vaccination is meant to protect them from getting. The last time Americans faced this kind of tyranny was before the Revolutionary War in the 1700s. At that time, patriots tried for decades to resolve the tyrannical practices of the British throne through negotiation and non-confrontational means. They found it didn't work because the tyrant oppressing them was focused on his own agenda of breaking promises made to the colonists and destroying the very freedoms they gave up, everything they had in their mother country, in order to come to a new world where they could have them. After many decades of negotiation, followed by repeated onslaughts of tyrannical activity, these settlers finally accepted the fact they couldn't wait any longer, hoping things would get better. They drafted the Declaration of Independence and the Articles of Confederation to lay the groundwork for a new government that was inspired by God and dedicated to providing the freedom that they all sought with every ounce of their being. In the fight with England that followed, many of these patriots gave the ultimate price of their lives because they realized that the freedoms that they were fighting for were more precious than any tangible thing that they owned. Since their sacrifice, millions of American citizens have believed the same thing and have been willing to defend their country and give their all to keep those same rights and freedoms. I often wonder what these brave men and women think when they see our modern citizens who complain about the current situation, but who are not willing to do anything productive to resolve it because maybe they don't want to get involved. Maybe they're afraid of what other people will think of them if they do get involved, or they choose instead to involve themselves in violent and destructive activities to get their point across. But even these people fail largely because the people they choose as their leaders are focused on what they want personally and really don't care at all about the people that they claim to be serving. The legacy we are leaving for our children promises to be one of pain and poverty for generations to come. However, even more destructive is the absence of the values of choosing what is godly and right when making decisions on how to handle difficult issues. If we don't show our children that standing up for what we know is right is the thing to do, what are we teaching them? Is it any wonder that the information they are getting on social media and through our public schools has confused and upset them? What kind of groundwork do we lay when we refuse to stand up and assert the rights our founding fathers so carefully crafted to perpetuate the freedoms that they wanted us all to enjoy? What is the legacy that we really want to leave? Do we want our children to avoid doing difficult things out of fear and refuse to take responsibility for their lives? Now, I understand the task is difficult, and I can see how it feels insurmountable to many of us. However, the United States Constitution still stands. It is the law of the land. And just because our current administration is choosing not to honor what it stands for doesn't negate that. As long as it does stand, we, the people, have the power to take the initiative to take back control of our country. The question is, what are we willing to do? Do we continue along the current path and watch the longest-lasting constitutional government in the history of the world finally fail? Or do we do the hard thing, the thing that is right, and stand up for what we believe, taking the steps necessary to stop the tyranny before it is too late? The task is yours. The time is now. Can you find the integrity and courage to do the right thing? Join us for the Freedom Fighters Forum to find out what you can do to take legal, non-violent, and very effective action to preserve this country that you love. We meet via Zoom on Monday night from 7:30 to 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Reserve your space now by clicking on the link below.